Hi, I'm Sammie Quong. I came back to Fall River after an absence of about 20 years because my father died in April of 1963, and he was one of the original owners of the Eagle Restaurant. And I am back because my mom passed away in December of 2008, and I've come to sprinkle some of her remains on my father's grave. I happened to Google about Fall River and the Herald News, and happened to find the Eagle Restaurant, and happened to find an article that was written in October of 2008. I read the article and thought that was very interesting about new owners trying to revise the old Eagle to create a historical center for the city of Fall River. And I could have just read that and said, oh, well, that's interesting. However, I went a step further and emailed to Mike, who was the reporter for that. And it just so happened that he put the owners in touch with the email, and lo and behold, shortly after that, I got a call from Chris Donovan, who introduced himself as the son of the newest owner. So here we have the daughter of the first owner and now the son of the newest owner, working together and trying to pick my memory as to what it was like for me as a child coming down to visit with my dad. I was probably, well, I came to the United States when I was 3 years old in 1949, and remember while waiting for my dad, playing around in the restaurant. And we just ran around. My sister and I would play hide and seek in the big dining room, and I recall the dance floor and the kitchen. Most memorable about the kitchen was the walk-in refrigerator. It was a very distinctive heavy door refrigerator that had a very distinct clank when you pushed it closed. It's brought back a lot of memories of some really good times for me as a child, but it's also, there's a sadness in seeing how part of it has been changed drastically by previous owners. And I am so glad that Chris and his dad and company are enthusiastic about redoing this, bringing it up to the beauty that it was, how regal it was, and helping people of Fall River to know the history and the appreciation of what this restaurant was in part of the history, and also probably the rest of the Chinese population who have settled here to make it what it was.
Thank you, Sammie, for coming down here. It's a pleasure meeting you. This Eagle, we want it to be back like your dad had it back in the day, very, very busy. And people seeing the beauty of the old steamship, of why it was created. The dance floor, so we can hold events, banquets, political functions, for everyone to see what the grand restaurant it was in its day. And upstairs on the second level, we're going to be putting a history museum of the original Eagle itself and the history of our founding fathers of the city, about the Mills, Buffingtons, the Bordens, and the Durfees, most importantly, and how this city really was back in the day, a powerhouse. This is my first adventure in this business. I'm usually a maintenance man slash electrician slash everything. So now this is a great adventure, and I'm so, like I said, happy that Sammie came down to meet me, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Check this out. This little compartment.
Oh. Oh wow, what's in there?
Nothing, but look at it. That's an original. I don't know if they had that.
I don't either.
Now what was here when when you walked in? Not this wasn't here, but was
I
there
don't
something?
remember. Well, you know, I think it's probably the cashier,
No,
and
on this piece.
people, and, you know, they would say,
Something like, I think this was glass. There's a piece of glass. I have this in the basement. I found this piece. So there's glass in there and the glass in there. This is probably like little trinkets or something like.
I don't remember that.
No.
Oh. And I can remember while I was waiting for my dad or just hanging out, I was just still a little kid, so I would sit on the stairs of the pool hall and watch the guys play, you know, and they all knew, you know, they kind of watched over the kids from the restaurant, you know, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think because we were little kids, you know. But the stained glass, maybe I can close this a little bit so you can see this leaded stained glass. Well, look at that. It's beautiful. You know, who would have thought to do something like this? And I wonder what the cost of it back in those days was to have, I don't know how many windows there are here, but to have all this leaded glass, it's, you know, I'm really proud to say that my family was a part of what was the reason this is here.